Hey, it's Lexi from Kemp. Today, I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step tutorial on how to preserve flowers and turn them into beautiful full flower earrings like this one. If you've ever gotten a bouquet of flowers like this one, maybe from someone special or from a holiday, this is going to be a great way to immortalize them and turn them into something really special that lasts forever. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start with the materials you're going to need today. I'm going to be using the clear type of UV resin, silicone brushes. You could also use popsicle sticks though. A UV light is going to be very important, and some sort of cups, whether it's silicone or plastic, and some sort of sanding tool, whether it's manual or electric. And this is an optional material. The Silica drying gel is perfect for drying flowers, and you're also going to want, if you have the sand, you're going to want a container to hold it in. Last but not least, you're going to need earring studs, the flat back types. And of course, you're going to need flowers. So this first step for preserving flowers is going to be the silica gel option, where I'm going to take my container, whether it's like this one, and just start with a thin base at the very bottom of the sand. Next, you're gonna see that I'm putting my flowers in the jar very on the flat side, maybe fluffing them a little bit to position them the way you want them to dry. And then I'm going with my scooper to just add very thin layers of sand. And I think that the slower and more controlled you are, the better that your flowers are going to stay in place. So this is kind of a close-up where I show you just a flat, right on the head kind of thing, making sure that each flower has all of the sand. I also wanted to point out the amount of dust coming out of the sand. That is a big thing with silica gel, is it's kind of important to maybe cover your mouth or step away from it when it's too dusty. And with your container, you're going to want to close it. This is an air-sealed locked container, but you can also use just like a regular plastic container too. Okay, so it's been about a week, and now I'm ready to take my flowers out. I've shifted a little bit of the sand to the side. As you can see, some of the flowers popped out, and that's what you're going to want to do to start. And then take maybe some tweezers or even just your hand and start pulling them out very slowly. And voila, you can see that these flowers are dry. She's got her color still. And we're just going to want to gently but slowly take out each flower. It's important to do this process very slowly so as to not break anything. And as you move through the layers of sand, it's important to just slowly shift the sand out of the container to reveal more flowers. And you may have different types of flowers and that are more gentle, so I would definitely be careful with this part as to not break any of your flowers. And as you can see, once I've finished, I want to just lightly, with some sort of light makeup brush, just clean off that flower. Okay, moving on to the second method is flower hanging, and that just means we want to dry our flowers in a more maybe affordable and convenient way, which is just hanging them upside down for a little bit longer, like a couple weeks. As you can see here, I took a hair tie, but you can use a rubber band, you can use a string, whatever you have to hang your flowers upside down. And you can hang this anywhere in your house. This is literally my closet door handle. And as you can see, I'm just wrapping that hair tie around, making sure that it's really locked into the bouquet. And the only issue here is that the flowers may not dry the way you want them because gravity is pulling them down. Okay, so now it's time to resin. What I like to start with is taking my bottle of resin and pouring out a controlled amount into my cup. We're going to work with this resin and a tool. And I use the silicone brush because it's easy to take just a drop and start with drops in the center of the flower. This is gonna allow me to take the drops of flour in the center and spread them to the edges of the petals. And I'm just gonna do one thin layer across the whole top of the flower. I started to notice some air bubbles, so I decided to take a lighter and try to heat them up. Oops! What happened here was I accidentally burned my petals. What we need to do when we make accidents happen is just take a deep breath and fix them, or take a new flower and edit. What I decided to do was edit this flower by taking a pair of scissors and taking off those burnt edges. I will be able to fix this with the resin and the sanding. So once I have my flower, I'm just going to fix her up a little bit, and then we're going to move on to curing her. And this is just a good way to prop her up, whether it's a cup or just something you have on your table. You just want to make sure gravity doesn't pull her down. And here you can see I'm doing another layer where I'm just doing the same exact method, except we're going to keep doing these layers until all of the petals are done. So just continue this process until all of the front of the flower is covered with resin. It's important that every petal is covered. Now this part is where I flip my flower and start resining the back side, and we're going to do the same process where I take a drop of resin at a time, put those drops in the center, and then spread them out into the petals. So you're going to want to keep the flower in this position and move the light on top of it. Cure for about a minute. Now that we have a nice cured back and front, it's time to just test it out. I'm gonna just take my hands and hold on to it. It should be nice and stiff all over, and all petals should have enough resin on them. Now it's time to take a little bit of resin and make sure that the tips of the petals are all extra resined. We want to put a little bit extra on the petals to make sure that they're secure and they're not going to break off when we wear them. And as you can see, I'm doing this slow and I'm doing it all over. I'm going to take my tweezers in this part and just rotate my flower under the light so that all of the resin stays in place. And now that it's nice and hard, it's time to sand the edges. I took my electronic sander, and the important thing are these petal edges. They're going to be really, really sharp because the resin and the petals is just going to make a sharp edge. So I'm going to sand it. As you can see, I'm doing a little bit forward, a little bit back, and I'm doing a gentle side to side so I don't break anything, and so that I do it slowly. This is how I can tell if it's soft enough. I rub my skin against it, and if it's not cutting me, it's not hurting, then it should be good to go. And it should be nice and sturdy where you can really just move it around and it's not going anywhere. Now that she's locked in, it's time to take the stem off. I just took any scissors and took off that stem and sanded down the back so that we have a nice space for the earring backs to go. As you can see, I slowly sanded the back so that it's flat. This is actually an extra step, an optional step if you wanted to kind of edit your flowers, maybe add some petals. I'm really just using the resin like a glue, and I'm doing what we did earlier with just a drop of resin. Add your little tiny petal and cure it. And you know, once you have enough layers on that one petal, you want to sand it down again and do the process until you're done. This is the final step. It's the most fun part because it's so easy. What we're going to do is take a drop of resin, literally just a drop, and kind of treat it like glue again, where I'm putting my stud right on that drop of resin in the back, and it's going to be fine to cure under the light. Just for about a minute, honestly, and then it should be stuck. Yes, okay. So now that we have our earring back kind of stuck, I want to secure it. So I'm taking whatever leftover resin I have and just adding a couple drops to really lock in that stud, creating a dome shape on the back. And you're going to want to cure it again. I would cure it for a little extra time to make sure everything's good. Wow, we did it! We crafted full flowers into these cute little earrings. I honestly love the way they look. Whether you dress them up or down, it's up to you. So cute!
Thank you so much for watching. Today we learned a few new ways to preserve our flowers, we had fun immortalizing our bouquets, and we turned cute full flowers into these beautiful little earring studs. If you have any questions, comments, or even advice, please let me know below, and make sure to subscribe for future tutorials. Thank you!